I would like to ask you also about the use of drugs. And there are so many brothers who are strung out on drugs today. It's probably, when the statistics are in, it'll be one of the most destructive forces against black people in quite a long while. And I've never been on drugs, and so I don't understand the syndrome that goes down. But a lot of brothers have difficulty coming off it. They use it, then they go off it, and then they begin reusing it again.
Yes.
How do you deal with that if an addict comes into, a clean addict comes into the Nation of Islam and then begins to use drugs again? How is he dealt with? And, I mean, is he expelled from the nation, or what do you do to encourage people to assist themselves?
The most beautiful thing about the Nation of Islam is that those who come up out of drugs, as long as they remain with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they never go back to drugs again. And what this shows us is that the drug problem is not a physical problem. It is not a problem that can be solved with methadone or with any other medicinal uses of drugs. This is a psychological and a spiritual problem. May I take a minute to explain this? I'd like to ask if brother is here, Brother Raymond. Brother Raymond, is he here? Oh, he's in the audience. Brother Raymond used to use drugs before he came.
Would you stand up, Brother
Stand
Raymond?
up, Brother Raymond. In fact, look at it. Now, I would just like you to look at it. Look at the beauty in his face, the clean look in his eyes. You would never believe that he used heroin not for a year or two, but for many, many, many years. Is that right? Now he's in the temple. He came to the temple with one suit. Now he has many suits. He came to the temple walking in what they call foot foolers. No shoe on the top, but nothing on the bottom. Now the brother is owning his home. He drives a fine car. He's in business. He has a family. And he's just been following the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for the last 5 or 6 years. Now, what is it about Muhammad's teaching? And all throughout America, white scholars and social scientists admit that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's drug program is the best. Now, why? Are there any other brothers here that used to use drugs that are in the temple? Stand up, brother. Stand up, brother. Stand up, brother. Can you get them?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, Brother Ellis, you know, the thing about black people is that we are all drugged in one way or another. Oh, yes, this is true. Some black people get high off of religion.
Right on.
Some black people get drugged off of fame and fortune or position or power. But they're all high and they're all drugged, and in their own particular and peculiar circumstance, they are isolated from the world of reality. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says to us that it is in our human nature to desire to be free, to seek justice, and to be equal. Since we are from the earth, and the earth is full of wealth, we being from the earth and from the God who created the earth are also full of great spiritual wealth. Every human being feels this greatness within. But as long as we're deprived of the opportunity, the proper education that will cultivate and develop the talents that we have, and the opportunity to express ourselves where we can feel the worth and dignity of a human being, then within ourselves we're drugged. We're dragged down by the lack of freedom. And by not being able to express ourselves, we get no real happiness in life. And so since we found that we get pleasure out of the organ of sex and denied the pleasure of a creative mind, denied the pleasure of seeing the work of our own hands, then we reroute this desire for pleasure into the organ of pleasure. Or we reroute this into desire to beat up our brother, to act bad. Or when we get positions to walk around proud and pompous. We're drugged. Or we go into the church seeking God, seeking a God who will give us that freedom, that joy of life, that peace and contentment of mind from the troubled existence that we have. And so we beat our tambourine, and we foam at the mouth, and we jump over the benches in a religious experience, but it's a drug. It's just as much a drug in the church as it is on 116th Street for the junkie. Because the drug addict, the church addict, is one who feels now that in this closed world I can find peace. I can find euphoria. I can find heaven. I can find that unreal world. But when I leave the church and go home, I go home to the rats. I go home to the cockroaches. I go home to the filth and the squalor of a real condition. And so it is with the junkie. He's deprived of the reality of the expression of his greatness, so he retreats into the world of unreality. Oh, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gives us a teaching that gives the black man the love of black self. When he teaches us that we are the original man, meaning the first man, the father of all human beings, gods, and the descendants of the divine creator, while we begin to brace ourselves up, throw our shoulders back, and we feel too dignified to reach down for a cigarette, to reach down for alcohol, to reach down for a drug, because we're flying up now with the most high God, but high in wisdom, high in understanding, high in power, high in the ability to do. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad creates a society that gives us pleasure. We get pleasure from each other's company because we love each other. As the Bible said, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So when we have this union of the brotherhood, it makes us feel good. But it's real. I can reach out and touch my brother. I don't have to dream about brotherhood. It's real. Then Muhammad says, come on in and let's go to work and build something for black self. So now the junkie is able to express himself in his own school, in his own environment. Now when he sees our planes landing on our runway, he sees thousands of acres of our own farmland. He's driving tractors on his own land, building skyscrapers out of his own mind. And he says, I don't have to use junk anymore. I don't have to beat a tambourine anymore. I don't have to use wine anymore. I don't have to lay down at the foot of the white man anymore. I can stand up like a man and look all men in the eye and bear witness that at last I'm a free man, free from drugs in the world of reality. That's Muhammad's drug program.